If I hit the outdoor switch, the on, you'll see the light turned on behind me. I hit off. I got really tired of having to get out of bed to turn off the light and coming home in the summer to find my room hot because the window AC wasn't on, and other first world problems like that. And so I decided to use technology to solve them. And in particular, the home automation technology I discovered and decided to use is called Z-Wave, which wirelessly networks a lot of these different devices together and allows you to control them using, say, your phone or through the internet and so forth. And the components of a Z-Wave network, the main components are, you need a Z-Wave controller, which I've got an Aeon Labs Z-Stick S2 here, and you need client devices. So for example, this GE plug-in module, and you need those client devices are going to be controlled by the controller, obviously. And you also need controller software, and you probably want your Z-Wave controller plugged into something like a computer or a router or something like that. Let's have a look at this one. So this is the Aeon Labs Z-Stick S2. Aeon Labs doing really cool work. They're coming out with a new product called Smart Film, which is like this plastic sheet that you cut and then you put on your window, and then using the magic of technology and electricity, you can have it go from opaque to transparent, and again control all of that with your phone. And then you can create, obviously these scenes. So with your phone you can control you can create a scene where, say, you've decided that it's time for a movie. So it turns off all the lights in your living room, and it turns on the smart film to block out any external light, and it turns on your TV, and it turns on your speakers and home theater system. Like, you can do that kind of cool stuff with home automation kind of technology. But I'm sticking to solving first world problems right now. And this right here is the GE outdoor module, and any item that's plugged into it can be controlled by it. And there's also wall switches, and a bunch of other things like that, but we're going to just use these very simple devices for now. This is the Aeon Labs Aeontec Z-Stick S2. It costs about like $70, and it's probably amongst the best Z-Wave controller, USB controllers that you can get. So I'm just going to open that up, and you've got little instructions here, and there's the box. And I ordered it from Amazon, and essentially it looks like a giant USB key. And it'll just get plugged into my computer for now, and eventually it'll get plugged into my router, which is going to be running OpenWRT with, I think Open Z-Wave controller is the name of the package. The client device I got is this GE wireless lighting controller, and GE makes some of the best stuff like this. And in this in particular, it's the outdoor module, so it can be used outdoor to control lighting, sprinklers, whatever. In this case, I'm just going to use it inside the house because it was actually cheaper for me to get the outdoor one than to get the indoor one. And I kind of like it better because it's a little more rugged and so forth. I've already opened up the devil packaging here, so bear with me while I crinkle and get everything out. There's little manuals. They really don't tell you anything. I read through them already. Just pieces, which I like to take off. There's the module. There's a little screw, I assume there should be a screw thing somewhere around here. Oh, there it is. Okay, so that you can hang it, I don't know if you can see that clearly, so that you can hang it with the onto like a wall or something like that. Okay, I'm just and so this is the controller module. I'm just going to take this bit off. Now these controllers have a manual on-off button as well, and the same button can be used for inclusion and exclusion. And this here, if I open this up, is where our devices get plugged in. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug this here. And if I take the Z-Stick from before, this is actually a really cool stick because it comes with a small battery, and it also has the ability to include devices. Sort of the way Z-Wave inclusion for devices work is you pair devices together like Bluetooth, except you pair them together and they have to be within, I think, like 3 feet of each other, because you don't want, your like neighbor pairing their device with yours. So you press this button once and it starts to blink slowly, and then you press this button and the blue one should go solid, but I think since I've already paired this, it's not going to do that again. So this will go solid, and then when I'm done, I'll just press it again and it'll turn off, and now the two items have been paired. So I'm going to plug in the Z-Wave controller, the Z-Stick S2, into the USB port of my computer. Now it's a USB device, so it's going to be somewhat automatically detected by the computer, but on Windows 7 it actually didn't work right until I went to the Aeontec site and downloaded the driver. So here I am at aeontec.com, go to support, and we've got the manual there. Unfortunately, a bunch of the links on the Aeontec website don't really work, which is unfortunate because it's a very beautiful website and I really like their work, but there's a whole bunch of links that don't work. Anyway, so go down all the way to driver downloads, Z-Wave driver, and you can pick like your Linux or OS X, which is pretty good that they've got support for all three, and then update driver. The other thing I did was actually right after, as soon as I got this, was I got the updated firmware as well from there. So I've already got that stuff downloaded, so I'm just going to show you. The first thing that I just did is I had to install whether the 64-bit or the 32-bit version of the driver. You don't have to worry about that. Just pick x86 and that'll probably do you. After I downloaded and opened it up. The other thing I did was I downloaded the update software to update the firmware on the stick itself. And to do that, it's very simple. You just hold the button down through the entire update process, and then you hit update here while holding the button down. Again, holding the button down, make sure that your neighbors aren't updating your software to something that they really shouldn't be updating it to. And I had no problems with that process. So that was pretty good. So after the drivers were installed, the Z-Stick worked, but of course you need controller software. You can't just use, you need some sort of controller software. I'm not too familiar with all of them yet because I'm just getting into this, but I found an Android app which worked as a server plus app system called In Control, which is from moonlitzwave.com, or just In Control Z-Wave. You can find it easily enough. I'll post a link. And then you hit download the PC companion software, which functions as a free Z-Wave controller. It's got limitations built into it though. And you just download it. It'll ask you to put in your email address, and then it'll send the download link to that address, and whatever, you just do that. And then when I've got it installed, it looks like this. I had to go through there's a very short controller setup process, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. It asked me what is it. It's a Z-Wave USB stick. It's going to say, well, do you know your COM port? I do. Otherwise, you can just hit connect to Z-Wave controller, and it'll search through all of them and find whichever one your Z-Stick is plugged into. Whoever remembers COM ports, right? Congratulations, your Z-Wave controller has been found and configured. This software really only supports two. It supports the Control-Think USB and the Z-Stick from Aeon Labs, and that's really good. Now that we've got the controller software installed, the Z-Stick's driver software installed, and the firmware on the Z-Stick itself updated, we're just going to and the Z-Stick included with the GE outdoor module, we're just going to go ahead and test whether the whole thing works or not. And so I just plugged in this lamp here, this ghetto ass shade, right into this piece here, and I'm just going to hit power, and I hear a click and the light turns on. I'm just going to hit power again, click, light turns off. Now I've got Android here, and I've got a Nexus 4 that I wanted to be able to use to control these lights, because I mean, it's not the height of laziness unless you can do it from the palm of your hand, right? Like if I have to get up and do this at a computer, that's not as good, right? So I've got this Nexus 4 and I installed the In Control app, the In Control automation app. There's a free version and then there's a paid version. The paid version is like $4 or something like that, and the free version is limited to a certain amount of devices and things like that. It's not that big a deal. But I had to sign up for their cloud membership. I did that, that's fine. And now if I hit the outdoor switch, the on, you'll see the light turned on behind me. I hit off, light turned off behind me. Magic.